Prepare to abandon all hope of a peaceful slumber. If you dare to delve into the abyss of trucker horror stories, be warned, their bone-chilling terror will clutch your soul so tightly that even the Sandman himself will flee in dread. Sleepless nights await those who dare to partake. Late one stormy night, Jake, a seasoned trucker, found himself navigating a treacherous stretch of road notorious for accidents and disappearances. The rain poured relentlessly, reducing visibility to a mere few feet ahead. Despite the hazardous conditions, Jake pushed forward, determined to reach his destination on time. Through the rain-splattered windshield, Jake noticed a figure standing on the side of the road, shrouded in darkness, a hitchhiker, drenched and huddled under a flimsy jacket, desperately waiting for a ride. Sympathy tugged at Jake's heart, his compassionate nature prompting him to offer assistance. The hitchhiker, who introduced himself as Daniel, climbed into the truck, his grateful expression tinged with weariness and desperation. As they embarked on the isolated exit Daniel suggested, Jake couldn't shake the nagging feeling that something was off. The silence in the cabin was palpable, broken only by the rhythmic pattern of rain against the roof. Small talk ensued, but Daniel's responses were vague and evasive. Sensing a growing unease, Jake became hyper-aware of his surroundings, the hum of the engine merging with the sound of rain pounding against the metal frame. The hair on the back of his neck stood on end, and a silent warning urging caution. Glancing at Daniel in the rearview mirror, Jake noticed a sudden shift in his demeanor. The hitchhiker's eyes, once filled with gratitude, now held a glint of malice and a darkness that sent a shiver down Jake's spine. The jovial facade dissolved, replaced by an intensity that made Jake's heart race. Fear gripped Jake's core as he realized he had unknowingly let a dangerous stranger into his truck. Panic surged through his veins, clouding his thoughts, and he instinctively reached for his phone, preparing to dial emergency services. But before he could make the call, Daniel's expression returned to its previous state of weary gratitude, as if nothing had happened. Unable to ignore the unsettling encounter, Jake's mind raced with scenarios and potential dangers. Sensing an opportunity, he quickly concocted an excuse to pull over, feigning engine trouble. As the truck rolled to a stop, Jake's hand hovered over the door handle, ready to make his escape if necessary. To his relief, Daniel expressed gratitude for the ride, his voice laced with an air of forced civility. He stepped out of the truck and disappeared into the stormy night, leaving Jake with a chilling sense of dread. Shaken to his core, Jake vowed never to pick up hitchhikers again, realizing how easily he could have become a victim of a deranged individual or criminal. From that day forward, he became hypervigilant, always cautious of the dangers that could befall truckers traveling alone, particularly in remote and treacherous locations. Trucker Sarah, a resilient woman with years of experience, found herself on a desolate stretch of highway late one night. Battling fatigue, she decided to pull into a remote rest stop to take a much-needed break. The area had seen better days, its deteriorating structures and broken lights a testament to its abandonment. Exiting her truck, Sarah couldn't shake the eerie sensation that enveloped the rest stop. The air hung heavy with an unsettling silence, broken only by the rustling of leaves in the wind. Determined to push past her discomfort, she made her way towards the dimly lit restroom. As she stepped into the restroom, Sarah was immediately struck by a musty odour and the eerie echo of her own footsteps. The flickering fluorescent lights cast eerie shadows on the walls, adding to the unsettling atmosphere. Though on edge, she tried to dismiss her unease as mere fatigue-induced paranoia. But then, as she stood before the cracked mirror, she caught a glimpse of movement behind her. Startled, Sarah spun round, her heart pounding. To her surprise, there was no one there. She nervously laughed off her jumpiness, chalking up to the dim lighting and her exhausted state. As Sarah splashed water on her face, the temperature in the restroom dropped perceptibly. Her breath hitched and a chill ran down her spine. She felt a presence, an unseen gaze bearing down on her. The sensation was unnerving and a sense of foreboding settled deep within her. Anxiety gnawed at Sarah's insides as she quickly finished washing up, eager to leave the restroom behind. But just as she turned to exit, a sudden gust of wind slammed the door shut, trapping her inside. Panic surged through her veins and she frantically pushed against the door, desperate to escape. The sound of whispers filled the air, unintelligible murmurs that seemed to emanate from the very walls. Sarah's heart raced as she pounded on the door, her voice lost in the eerie chorus. Sweat trickled down her forehead as she struggled to maintain her composure, her mind racing for a solution. Summoning every ounce of strength, Sarah launched herself against the door with all her might. It creaked open, a small victory against the unseen force that held her captive. She burst out of the restroom, her heart pounding, and ran towards her truck, leaving the rest stop and its haunting presence behind. Haunted by the chilling encounter, Sarah never spoke of the rest stop again. The memory served as a constant reminder of the hidden dangers that lurk in seemingly mundane places. From that day forward, she became more cautious, choosing her rest stops meticulously and trusting her instincts above all else, forever aware of the potential horrors that can unfold in the shadows of the night. Hold on tight, folks, because the bone-chilling story 3 is about to unleash its terrors. Hey, if you're digging these spine-tingling horror tales and craving for more, don't be a scaredy cat. Join our channel and hit that subscribe button. You won't want to miss a single hauntingly good episode like this one. Let's dive into the depths of fear together. Trucker Mike, a diligent and experienced driver, found himself assigned a late-night delivery to an abandoned warehouse on the outskirts of a small town. The area, once thriving with industry, had fallen into disrepair, its buildings and infrastructure a haunting reminder of better days. Despite the eerie reputation, Mike approached the task with his usual professionalism and resolve. As he drove towards the warehouse, the streetlights grew increasingly sparse, leaving stretches of road engulfed in darkness. The neighbourhood surrounding the warehouse was desolate, the silence broken only by the distant hum of electricity and the occasional gust of wind. Mike's grip tightened on the steering wheel as a sense of unease settled in his gut. Upon arriving at the warehouse, Mike noticed the broken windows and graffiti-covered walls that marked the passage of time. Weeds grew through cracks in the concrete, reclaiming the space once occupied by bustling industry. The air was heavy with a mixture of dampness and decay, a testament to the neglect that had befallen the area. Undeterred, Mike parked his truck and stepped out, his boots echoing against the silent pavement. As he made his way towards the entrance, a chill ran down his spine, a primal instinct warning him of hidden dangers. The vastness of the abandoned warehouse loomed before him, its vast interior shrouded in darkness. Taking cautious steps, Mike navigated through the dilapidated corridors, his flashlight casting narrow beams of light, revealing a scene of neglect and abandonment. The sound of his footsteps reverberated, creating an eerie symphony that amplified the silence. Every creak and groan of the decaying structure seemed to whisper untold stories. The stillness was broken by distant sounds, a scurrying of rodents, the fluttering of wings, or perhaps just his own imagination playing tricks on him. Mike's heart raced, his senses heightened as he pushed forward, guided by a mix of determination and the need to complete his delivery. The air grew heavy and suffocating as Mike ventured deeper into the warehouse, the weight of the past pressing down on him. Shadows danced on the walls, playing tricks on his eyes. An unshakable feeling of being watched settled over him. Every turn brought him closer to the heart of the warehouse, closer to the answers he sought. Suddenly, a sound echoed through the darkness, a metallic clatter followed by an ominous thud. Mike's breath caught in his throat as he strained to locate the source. The warehouse seemed to come alive with echoes of its former purpose, conjuring images of machinery and labour long forgotten. Fear mingled with curiosity as Mike pressed on, his heart pounding against his ribcage. The sound of his own breathing reverberated in his ears as he stepped into a dim-lit room, the air thick with dust particles illuminated by a solitary beam of light filtering through a broken skylight. And then he saw them. Figures lurking in the shadows, their forms indistinct and mysterious. Dread washed over Mike as he realized he was not alone. His mind raced, struggling to comprehend the presence of others in this forsaken place. Were they squatters, vagrants seeking refuge, or something far more sinister? With the weight of uncertainty pressing down on him, Mike made a hasty retreat, his footsteps echoing with urgency. He fought against the urge to look back, fearing what he might see lurking behind him. Adrenaline fueled his escape as he burst through the warehouse doors, gasping for air, his heart pounding in his chest. Haunted by the experience, Mike vowed never to speak of the warehouse, understanding that it was a haven for danger and the unknown. The memory of those enigmatic figures stayed with him, a constant reminder of the perils that lurk in forgotten corners, forever altering the perception of his otherwise routine deliveries. Buckle up, because there's something far more bone-chilling than the hair-raising trucker tales we've shared. Picture a world where you deprive yourself of our captivating videos. Prepare for a journey into the abyss of mundane existence, where thrills and chills become distant memories. So, stay tuned and cling to the edge of your seat, for your life is about to take a wicked turn if you dare to miss out on what lies ahead.